The Krikstar warfleet had conquered 17 systems without losing a single vessel. Their exoskeletal armor could withstand plasma bolts. Their hive mind made them tactically flawless. When they detected the primitive signals from Earth's third moon colony, they expected another easy victory. Commander Zekthar watched the view screen as his forces descended upon the human mining outpost. The structures were crude, built from locally sourced materials. Thermal scans showed only 200 life forms. This would be over within the hour. Deploy ground forces, Zekthar clicked, his mandibles clacking with satisfaction. The first wave of Krikstar warriors landed in the central plaza, their 6 legs carrying them forward in perfect formation. The mining facility's alarm systems wailed uselessly. Humans scattered, their soft bodies vulnerable and slow. Then the roaring began. It echoed through the colony's corridors, a thunderous primal sound that made even the Krikstar pause. The noise was rhythmic, violent, like some ancient beast announcing its fury. The warriors' antennae twitched nervously. Their intelligence had mentioned no indigenous predators on this moon. Monster signatures? Zekthar demanded. Negative, Commander. The sound has no biological origin we can detect. Another roar. Then another. The Krikstar warriors in the mining sector suddenly went silent on the communication network. Zekthar's primary eyes narrowed. Impossible. His soldiers were the apex predators of known space. In the colony's armory, Ilina slammed a fresh magazine into her rifle and pulled back the charging handle. The satisfying metallic clack brought a grim smile to her face. Around her, miners who'd never expected to fight were taking up weapons. Their hands shaking but determined. They think we're easy prey, she said to Adam, who was distributing ammunition with mechanical efficiency. Let's show them what humans do when cornered. Adam checked his own weapon, an older model that had seen service in Earth's corporate wars. The bugheads haven't met someone who's been through the belt conflicts. How many rounds we got? Enough to make them regret landing. Elena's jaw tightened. She'd lost her sister to raiders 5 years ago. She'd sworn never to run from a fight again. The Krikstar breached the armory corridor, their plasma weapons charged and ready. They moved with the confidence of a species that had never known defeat. The lead warrior rounded the corner and immediately fell as Elena's first burst caught its center mass. The armor that could stop plasma bolts had never been designed for kinetic projectiles traveling at 3,000 feet per second. The roar of gunfire filled the narrow space. Spent casings bounced off the walls in a brass symphony. The Krikstar warriors stumbled back, confused by weapons they'd only read about in historical archives. Who still used chemical propellants? Who still relied on primitive metal slugs? Humans did, because sometimes the old ways worked best. Reload. Adam's voice cut through the chaos as his magazine ran dry. He dropped the empty with practiced ease, slamming home a fresh one in under 2 seconds. The roar resumed. On the command ship, Zekthar watched his casualty reports climb. 30 warriors down, 50. The roaring sounds weren't monsters, they were weapons. Impossibly primitive weapons that were somehow devastating his forces. How? He demanded. Their technology is centuries behind ours. His tactical officer's response came hesitantly. Commander, the projectiles travel faster than our shields can detect. Our armor is optimized for energy weapons, these solid slugs. They simply punch through. Elena and Adam fought their way to the main plaza, where more colonists had rallied. The miners had turned their home into a fortress, using every advantage the terrain offered. The Krikstar had numbers, but the humans had something else. Generations of warfare encoded in their DNA, the memory of 10,000 conflicts teaching them that survival meant adaptability. A Krikstar warrior charged Adam's position. He waited until it was close, then fired a controlled burst that shattered its primary eyes. As it reeled, Elena finished it with a shot to its exposed neural cluster. They're learning our tactics, she observed, swapping magazines again. Then we change them, Adam replied. Fall back to the refinery. We can bottleneck them there. The colonists retreated in good order, laying suppressing fire that kept the Krikstar from advancing too quickly. Every doorway became a kill zone. Every corridor a death trap. The aliens had superior technology, but the humans had superior spite. Zekthar made a decision he'd never made before. Recall all ground forces. Prepare orbital bombardment. But before the order could be executed, reinforcements arrived. 3 human warships dropping out of FTL with weapons hot. They weren't the most advanced ships in human space, but they carried the same philosophy as the colonists below. Sometimes the best weapon is the one that actually works. The Krikstar fleet fled, leaving behind nearly half their ground forces. The humans took no prisoners, not out of cruelty, but because the Krikstar fought to the last. When the final warrior fell, an eerie silence settled over the colony. Elena sat against a wall, her rifle across her knees, counting her remaining ammunition. 12 rounds. She'd started with 300. Adam slumped beside her, exhausted. They'll tell stories about this. Probably won't believe it. 200 miners held off a Krikstar invasion force, Elena said, managing a tired laugh. With guns that use gunpowder. Yeah, it sounds insane. That's humanity for you, Adam replied. Too stubborn to know when we're supposed to lose. Above them, the warships were already deploying medical teams and supplies. The colony had survived. And somewhere in the Krikstar fleet, Commander Zekthar was learning a lesson that would spread through the galaxy. Humans might seem primitive, but they'd perfected the art of war while other species were still learning to dream. The Roars had been monsters after all. Just not the kind the Krikstar expected. ND.